Jesse the Body Ventura with the current, and I use the term loosely, heavyweight champion of the world. You know, Hulk Hogan, a lot of people throughout the world think that Paul Orndorff is truly the real American.
Yeah, and I bet you think you got a full head of hair and a big pair of arms, dude, but standing next to me, you look like a weeping willow tree, little man. All I got to say about Paul Orndorff, brother, is you're not a real American like you say you are. And I'm not afraid of any small chains artists like you. Because to get to the top, man, you gotta be big time. You gotta dedicate your life to training, saying your prayers, eating your vitamins, something you don't know nothing about, man. And you also gotta dedicate your life to those people, brother, because you gotta have something behind you more than just a mere mortal man. Paul Orndorff, you're gonna be judged, brother. No electric chair, no gas chamber. Judge, jury, executioner. Hulkamania, ultimate sentence.
Should be a guy. Hulk Hogan is Orndorff now.
We had say what? A whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's
word attack skills and vocabulary too. Cover hits in this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
So generally we are on hiatus around this time, but we said, hey man, we need to do a show. Because we've been doing shows the last 2 or 3 months, which usually, if you know us, we take about 2 months off near November and don't come back to almost February after Royal Rumble. We're not doing that this year. 2014 to 2015, we're going strong all the way through. So, this will be the first annual year-end Ring Time Awards and year-end review show starring Keith and Keisha. I thought about having guests, but we did so poor in planning, 100% my fault, that I didn't want to bother people like, hey man, you want to do a show this morning? Nah, I'll just go ahead and get it done. But next year we will have guests, voices you've heard before, know, and love. But yeah, we'll probably have guests next year, because I'm actually going to plan this out. It'll probably be recorded before the holidays, but you know what I mean.
All right.
So people will have time to spend with their family. But this year, like I said, due to piss poor planning by myself and me being 100% lazy, that's why the last update for the website is about 6 days ago. Hey, it is what it is, right?
Right.
But you have Keith and Keisha doing the first ever year-end Ring Time, year review, Ring Time Award. I would like to come with a clever name, but I don't have it. Keisha may come with one by the end of the show. But without further ado, Keisha, say hi to the people.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little dragging this morning. I almost forgot it was morning, Keith, I swear. I don't know. Maybe I had too much rum cake. I think I need to chill out with it.
Yeah, I told Nicole, like, the rum cake, when she cut me a slice, I was like, yes, this is very rummy. Like, literally, like this section is pretty much straight rum. Like, I don't know what you did, and it don't, like, I'm looking at the Bacardi bottle now, and it don't look like she used that much rum. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she used about as much as I drank last night when I came home, and that wasn't that much, but it seemed like that cake was humming. You know what I mean? Like, she had a spare bottle somewhere.
Right.
So, neither here nor there. Just a glimpse into our family Christmas outing yesterday. I think 80% of my siblings were all in the room. We were there. Parents were there. The grandkids were there. One of the dogs showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Friends showed up. Friends' kids showed up. So it was a nice time.
Right.
So, Keisha, I'd like to thank you for organizing the parent rental gift outing this year. Did a good job.
You're welcome.
They were happy.
You are welcome. Somebody is knocking at my door, and I don't know who it is.
Okay. Well, you can handle that. And I can babble for a few minutes. or you cannot handle it and ignore them. I mean, it's the day after Christmas at 10 o'clock in the morning. Some people might want to tell you about the mighty kingdom of Jehovah right now.
Yeah, I
so
know about
that is always 100% possible. No offense to my Jehovah Witness listeners. I'm just saying, you know, I do find the Watchtower as very pleasurable reading sometimes, but sometimes I'm kind of ornery and cranky. So when random people speak to me, it's kind of scary. But that's just how I roll. I find them a lot more pleasurable than the people who are trying to sell you their CD at Walmart parking lot.
You know what? I can't stand them. Like, they get on my nerves. Hey
man, everybody got a mixtape. Hey brother, you know what I'm saying? You like good hip hop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have it. But
it's crazy.
Hey man, I'm just doing my CD. You know what I'm saying? It's the new stuff. Hey man, I just, you know, if you got like $2 or $3 to donate to the project, man, it'd be greatly appreciated. And like he be handing you the CD, and it's like, dog, I never said I want. Like, no, you keep that. Look,
exactly.
I give you $2 or $3. You hold on to the CD. How about that?
Exactly.
Like,
right.
we don't have to exchange.
Like, I be sitting there like, ugh.
We don't even have to exchange.
I've been hit lately with gospel CDs.
Oh, hold on, Keish. There's every mall in Atlanta got a kiosk where there's some dude or young lady who has won some kind of contest where they trying to sell you their gospel rap album.
All right. I swear to you, I don't know, but it seems like it. Like, I don't walk like about 4 different malls, and they all of them had the same thing. You see this chick or this dude standing there, where they're at a kiosk now. I'm like, is the whole kiosk just this one CD, or?
No, it's like, the one right. It's the one right by the escalator. So I'm telling you, if they always hit the same spot, and they like, yo, hey man, it's the new thing in gospel rap, and I'm like, okay, exactly. You have now put together 2 things I don't even think go together. Secondly, I'm pretty much a heathen, so I don't even like gospel music. Hate to break anybody's heart. I mean, like, for the most part, I think it's, you know, staunchly repetitive with the same words over and over again. I mean, pretty much if you just put a melody together. I mean, I don't know. I've heard some really good music. You know what I mean? Honestly, the best music I've ever heard, like that's when I actually go to church. Like when I'm in church, I'm there with you. You know what I mean? Right. But the stuff, man, that people throw on these CDs and come on the radio sometimes, Keith, I'm not there.
Keith, I have to honestly say that some, I'm saying all, but okay, I don't listen to gospel rap. Let's just put that out there. I can't. I'm sorry. Like, my brain won't let me put the 2 together and think this is actually possible. Like, I can't do it. So, because in my mind, I have to honestly say, like, if I hear the word gospel rap, I'm thinking, like, Kirk Franklin mixed with, like, Migos. Like, I can't put it together. Like, I can't do it. So it's like, what really is on this CD? And why are you selling it to me? Like, I can't. I really can't.
This is what's sad, Keish. That CD could be really good. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. It could be really good. But I've already boxed you into a stereotype of what I've heard. And this is the thing. There's probably a really good gospel rapper out there. You know what I mean? When I say good, like really good. Who probably would appeal to my sensibilities because they probably would spit in a way that is very, you know, mechanically sound, great beats. They do not try to overhit you with the message. The message is just laid out in some quality lyrics.
Right.
But that being said, I'm so programmed to hear yo, 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 Jesus, that I don't want to do it. I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, I've been poisoned by too much bad gospel rap. And that is why I don't want to hear it. I'm like, nope, nope, keep that,
It's been too many times.
Nope.
that you heard a quote-unquote gospel rap song, and I've gone as far as to ended up seeing a gospel rap video. Now, let's just put this in mind, okay? It's not like a regular rap video, okay? Girls aren't butt naked. There's not none of that shit going on, okay? Of course, they don't cuss, so there's no bleeping or editing or nothing like that. It's really ridiculous. Because in my mind, like, who did this and why? Like, it's so horrible. It's not the music. It's just, why would you make a video for this? Like, I just can't. I can't put two and two together.
It's kind of like if you told me you had a country western rap album. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, right. I'm just
like,
kind of like, nah.
I think certain genres of music, I like my genres traditional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like I like it. I like it the way I've heard it when I was 5. And I know that sounds crazy as hell. You know what I mean? Like in certain rap, I'm like, okay, I appreciate the the experimentation and the thing you do and stretch it to the next level. Great, but I think my brain is just pre-programmed, and maybe it's just the old man in me. Like, hey, when I hear my gospel, I want to hear it with some organ and a choir and brother on the drums, and like some the whole full instrument experience. I don't think I wanted Bobby Digital. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's just some things that I'm kind of an old man on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing personal. Same way with my wrestling.
I understand.
There's things I'm an old man on.
Right. I mean, I understand that you want to create it in a way that it appeals to everybody. But everything don't appeal to everybody. Like, I don't care how many different ways that you change the music. These heathens of children, they're probably not going to listen to it anyway. Like just to put it out there. Some of these children out here, they also late to listen to it anyway. I don't care how you do, what you do with it. So,
I don't know. We have killed a 9-minute gospel rap brand. Wow, this is telling you where we are at with this wrestling.
Hey, some things you just can't combine together. I can't.
Also, on a positive note, I have learned this to be true, and I was happy. Keith, I was telling you when I left yesterday, I was like, shoot, we gotta find something to eat.
Yeah.
My favorite Chinese restaurant around here was open.
What?
And it's something I realized: the Chinese restaurant will never fail you on Christmas. I'm telling you, it is something that I have known true my whole life. When I was living in Michigan, you always go to China Jade, because this is what happens: you spend time with your family, you done got tired of them. It's after 5, it's after 6. You gotta eat again, man. And you don't want to do the food that you ate earlier. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like, I've done that already.
All right.
What you gonna do? And so much stuff is closed. But man, the Chinese restaurant is always there for you on these Christian holidays. It's beautiful. I don't know why they do it. I guess they realize there's a deficiency in the market, because I'm sure they want to be home with their families too, but said, hey man, somebody gotta get this bread.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when I say the traffic was steady, Keish. People be coming. So I got my food. I got home enough time to have my food and sit down and watch the Doctor Who Christmas special. So life was good. Overall, life was good. Got to see my family. Everybody alive and healthy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Ain't got no sense. They don't have, none of our family members have sense. I swear. That's just not.
No. Dad was on 10. And that probably is an underestimate. You know what I mean? I'm probably underestimating that fact.
I can't deal with him. I can't deal with him. I feel like I can't. Right. I look at all it like this.
Adults, kids, babies, nobody was free from his wrath.
Exactly.
Apparently you can get it at any age. So you just had to be there. I don't know what to tell you. You just had to be there.
It was just ridiculous, but it was hilarious at the same time. I can't deal with it. I swear I can't.
Friends, families, enemies, you are all fair game to them.
Yeah, exactly. He don't care. He don't.
But that's pretty much what happened. So yeah, let's go. Basically, we're not doing our usual format. We're not talking about Raw. We're not talking about SmackDown. Next week we'll do all of that, right? And I mean, we got to figure out a way whether we do 2 shows or whether we do very long shows. We got to squeeze in Lucha Underground from now on and NXT. I think those things are worth.
I'm trying.
A recap.
To get my roommate to remember to call DirecTV and get us El-Ray. I'm just saying. You need to get El-Ray. But you ain't talking to them about it. I want El-Ray. I need to watch Lucha Underground every Wednesday. Come on, bro. I can't deal.
Keisha, there's a way for you to watch Lucha Underground on Thursday or Friday if you can't see it on Wednesday, which is fine. It's called YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
And
I need to
I don't want, because it's there, and that's how I watch it, because I don't have that available, even though, this is weird. I thought I had an in last night, right? On my Xbox, there's the Univision app, right? And apparently they show Lucha Underground in areas where El-Ray ain't available. Well, apparently the Lucha Underground videos are locked out for my region.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So, I mean, I got to kind of do it on YouTube, too. And it's kind of like, oh, man, I could have did this here, and it'd be even better. But it's cool. I just thought I had it in. And I don't feel like trying to reroute my IP address on my Xbox to say I'm in England just to see. Not that I mean I would do such a thing. I've done it on my computer, though, to watch some BBC television. But I'm talking too much. I'm going to still be drinking. I'm just saying, look, I'm broadcasting a show talking about how I may or may not procure television from foreign lands without paying for it. So it's probably not something you should talk about.
No, it's really, we need to cut that out.
I'm probably too lazy to edit that portion. Anyway, plus they gotta prove it. I mean, fuck 'em. Anyway, I'm in America. They're gonna take me in America. So we're gonna watch movies, bad movies, because we're in America.
Movies.
So, alright, yeah, because we're totally off topic now, and people are like 15 minutes in, like, man, look, I came to hear about this wrestling. So yeah, we totally different format. Basically, we'll kick it off. Kind of same thing. We put the show up. Usually we'll have a break.
Right.
But we're going to start off this with the big stories of the year. 2014 was dominated by a lot of wrestling headlines. Like, hey man, the fabric of professional wrestling changed dramatically in 1 year. Right?
Right.
Biggest story, bar none. CM Punk walks out the WWE. He said, I'm done. Tired of y'all. Y'all suck.
And
I'm
for
hurt.
the longest, that's what we thought.
Well, I mean, he did walk out. Let's put it this. He did leave. Right? They just fired him at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like he left for a couple of months. They didn't ask him to come back. You know what I mean? And then they sent him a letter saying he was suspended. Which means, now when they sent him a letter saying he's suspended, that closed the door on him. Now it's on them to try to bring it back, right? So right. I'll say that. Then they fired him, and that's where they just totally severed the relationship.
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
For that, is one thing. But as far as him and how that's supposed to go, it's still biggest story of the year. I mean, this is like, I don't think anybody has ever just said, I'm done, right?
Right.
And said, I'm done at that level, and was that heavily involved in what was going on, and was done and didn't go anywhere else. Like, this wasn't a thing for him to go to WCW, which don't exist, TNA or whatever. This was just him to be done. Like, he was done with professional wrestling. Like, they took a top star that had years left in the tank and just made him done with professional wrestling.
Which is crazy, because you would never think that a top star would just walk out like that, you know? Like, you would never think a top star with... You know what it is? I mean, I'm going to put it the way that some people want to put it. You wouldn't think that somebody that was making as much money as he was would just walk out, you know? But I think some people forget that it's not always about the money. Like,
well,
if
here's the
you're
thing.
not enjoying it, then why stay?
Here's the thing. I think everybody has a pressure point that they can be pushed to at their job, right?
Right.
I think that there's a level that my job today can push me where I can be like, you know what? I got enough coin in the 401k right now, and I got enough other dollars built up in other places where I could walk out and be okay for like 7-8 months. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not making any lifestyle concessions. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I like to look at it. Like, I make no lifestyle concessions. And I mean none. I mean, like, the same reckless fast food habit that I have. All my memberships, all my subscriptions, all my, you know what I mean? Everything. My free spending, my gift giving, you know what I mean?
Right.
All of it. I can keep that, maintain that almost up to a year without no interruption, right?
Right.
And then that has enough time for me to go find another job. Okay. Well, imagine having enough money where it's like, I could probably live forever.
Exactly.
And the way I live is a way that, you know what I mean, I keep all my lifestyle and be fine. Right?
Right.
Also, that makes it hard to walk away from that kind of money because you're making that kind of money still. And you can really, really secure yourself. You know what I mean? Well, it gets hard. I mean, and I'm sure the more you make, the harder it gets to walk away. But everybody has those pressure points, I think, at their job. And part of me, it was very freeing. It was sad to see him go. But if they wasn't going to do right by him, it was good that he left. And I think overall for his health, I'm glad he left.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've said this before, and I've expressed this on other shows, and I've expressed this in articles I've written or whatever. In 10 years, if I go to Comic-Con or I'm at a Legends Fest, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm at Comic-Con, and I'm pretty sure it'd be at Comic-Con. Let's just bank that it's at Comic-Con. Like, I'm more likely you'll see him there than anywhere else. And he's happy and he's healthy and he's bouncing around. He's looking good. You know what I mean? To me, that'd be worth it as opposed to 10 years. He was done 5 more years in the WWE, and he got a new hip. You know what I mean? His knees busted and he's limping and he's got a cane. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen the damage done to old wrestlers. I've been around a lot of older wrestlers, and I've seen the damage that's done to them. And the schedule that the WWE is on isn't kind to anybody.
It really isn't.
And his health concerns, his concussions, you know what I mean? Like, that's lifetime trauma. And that kind of thing, I think, is kind of where I'm glad he got out when he got out and is able to have the life that he's having right now, right?
Right.
But like I said, easily the biggest story in wrestling to me was that. Like, I think that took shockwaves and it put everybody on notice.
Because him just leaving was something, of course, we all did not expect. It wasn't something that was foreseen. No one talked about it because it wasn't known that he was just going to walk out. You know, like, I'm pretty sure he himself didn't really think to just leave until he did it. Like, it's something that we all, actually, it's something that most of us probably do want to do at our own jobs. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a good majority of us that walk into work every day that just want to just walk out of there. You know, because I know I do it every once in a while. Like, I just be like, okay, I'm ready to go already. Like, it just happens. But he just happened to do it and stick with it and be done with it. Like, so nobody saw that coming, you know. And I think that's one of the things that made it so big was the dirt sheets couldn't pick up on it and talk about it and try and, like, foresee it or try and put it out there before everybody else or something like that, because it wasn't something that was even, like, discussed. No one knew this was going to happen. It wasn't like his contract expired or, you know, it was up for re-signing or anything like that. Like, this was just a random act that turned into something bigger than what actually had happened at the moment. And right, you're right. With the WWE firing him, it was just their way of just kind of like ending it all and whatnot, and letting it be solidified as to, okay, this is what happened and it's done. So this has to be the biggest story of the year because I don't see anything bigger than this.
I think they wanted to put the screws to him. I think they wanted to fire him as in, like, and then they tried to claim retro breach of contract and yada, yada, yada.
But it's
like, I think they want
the breach of contract that they tried to create was like months before that. You know, this happened in July, and they were like, "Oh, well, you breached contract in January." January? Like, come on.
They tried to put the screws to him. They didn't want to pay him his merch money, and I think part of it was they wanted him to come back begging. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted to feel like they was putting him on his heels where he could come back and be like, "Look, I'll do this and I'll resign. I'll take this pay cut, or I'll do this, whatever, and this is how it'll be."
He didn't.
I think they thought, whatever. Like, I think they thought that they can maybe humble him in a way, and it didn't. All in all, like I said, biggest story of the year was easily the Punk story. After that, they all kind of fall in line. Like I said, the wrestling landscape changed. 2014, it seemed like it's been so long, but the WWE Network kicked off in February.
You know what? I really didn't realize that it's only been a few months. Like, I really thought that it's been longer than that. Like, I'm like,
no, end of February. It was the end of February, like the 28th. It was a day after Elimination Chamber. It went live last year.
It's crazy because I thought I've been a member longer than that. Like, I really thought I've been a member longer than that, and it's because it's only it's the end of February. It's only been 10 months. Like,
well, here's the thing: that 6-month commitment is null and void. But your first 6-month commitment renewal was in August.
Right.
So you didn't have another one until... So there's no milestone marking it, really. I don't know. They're not doing anything for the people who've been down since day one. That's fine. Your homies that's been there through the struggle. Uninterrupted service the entire time. You know what I mean? While y'all making all these new concessions.
Hey, I'm not doing
out 3 months in November. I'm just saying, hey, uninterrupted service is day one. I just think that serves something. That's all. Right. No, but I'm playing. That maybe in 5 years though, I should get like a free year. If I do 5 straight years, maybe I should get a free year on the 5th year or something. Not even a whole year, 6 months. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there, right? Customer service people, right? The network changed the landscape of wrestling for a few reasons. One, financially it changed the total valuation of what the pay-per-view system was. Because the biggest company in the world who used to sell their pay-per-views for $60 are giving them away for $9.99 a month.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, you can look at this network two different ways. You can look at that you pay for the 12 pay-per-views every year, you pay $9.99 a month to have each pay-per-view, right?
Right.
And all that other content is just free bonus stuff. Or you can look at it because if you didn't have the pay-per-views, they had enough content where I would pay $9.99 a month for it, right?
Right.
It is clearly better than the 24/7 package that they used to have with the cable networks. And I had it like 10 years ago when it was really crappy and they didn't update it that much. And there was only like 1 or 2 episodes of everything.
Yeah.
Every month. And that was like $7 or $7.99 with Comcast, right?
Right.
So to have the entire pay-per-view libraries, to have almost, most of the DVDs. They still ain't updated all the DVDs yet, because I still got a lot that they don't have. They have the ECW and WCW pay-per-views. They have stuff they haven't even loaded yet. I'm sure they got the old AWA library, except for the ESPN stuff, which I don't know if ESPN is holding on to that or what they're doing with that. Same probably with the Watt stuff. They got a lot of Mid-South stuff. I don't know what about, the UWF stuff that came on ESPN, but I know they probably still got most of the local TV shows and stuff that they used to do. They still haven't used the whole World Class library. They only did like a few episodes of that. There's still more ECW shows in the tank. There's still way more Nitros. So, I mean, $9.99 is worth that. And you're getting the pay-per-view for free. So, however you want to look at it, right?
Right.
I'm saying they changed, though. They killed their own DVD business off. We didn't kill it off, but it's kind of like, I'll buy the DVDs, but I could just wait till they come on the network.
Yeah.
Now, I have a lot of the 3-disc sets because I like to have the bonus features, the bonus promos, the matches. You know what I mean?
And all that is not included on the network.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, I have tons of matches. You know what I mean? It's just like when you watch it on Netflix. It's just the bio story. It's not the other 2 discs were basically all matches, right?
Right.
So I like to have those. But because the network has most of the library on the network, you probably don't even need that because you could just look up whatever match you want. If you put in Stone Cold, I mean, I can go down the library from anything from 91, you know what I mean, on. Everything that's WCW up to now is there. So, listen, it changed the game. People who were running iPay-per-views, $9.99 was about the price that most people was paying. $14.99 in some cases if you was getting the Ustream stuff from ROH. But who's paying for the iPay-per-view now?
That's
also, I mean, that was like, that was something too, and maybe they're going to have to change their model. Like where they can make those iPay-per-views available on different apps and stuff like that, where you can get your Roku or your Xbox or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because part of the problem I was having with that was that, look, I was like taking my laptop, throwing my HDMI cable up to the TV, because I want to watch it on the TV. I'm spoiled now. I don't want to sit in front of no damn monitor. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, yo, let's pick that in. Let's get that going. Streams will fail, stuff like that. Even WWE has problems with the streaming and the buffering and keeping up and all that stuff. Internet still's catching up to some of this stuff. All right. So they put their product in HD, mind you, out there for $9.99. So actually, it changed the whole valuation of the wrestling business. I think it hurt people like TNA who trying to sell a pay-per-view. I think it hurts ROH who was trying to sell a pay-per-view. Even though ROH has done pretty good on a pay-per-view when they actually went to TV pay-per-view, like their buys are pretty high compared to what the old TNA buy rates used to be.
That's because ROH is, to me, just a better product than TNA.
And honestly, I'm going to say this. Strange enough, people are still buying traditional pay-per-view. The WWE still sells. They lost a lot of people like DirecTV and stuff like that who don't want to carry the pay-per-views anymore.
Right.
But, hey, Survivor Series, they sold 100,000 buys of Survivor Series. And it doesn't seem like much, right? Because
Right.
generally they sell like 200, 300, like 200,000, something like that. If they peak 300,000, about 200,000 buys, right? They sold 100,000 traditional pay-per-view buys, and they was giving it away for free on the WWE Network.
Free.
That was the free November month.
Yeah. Like, you didn't have to pay $9.99 for that month.
And they sold 100,000 to people who were just, I need to watch this pay-per-view. So that's $60 times 100,000. $6 million bucks, then you pay out. We got to pay out. Still a nice chunk of change, right?
Right.
Just going into the cash bin. If they could get 80, 90,000 every month, 50,000 plus your network subscribers, I think that's not bad. Even though they're not telling the boys this, because they're not paying them off right still. Because think about it. Whether they watch the pay-per-view or not, if you got 800,000 subscribers, that's $8 million in the tank every month. You know what I mean? So that's like, okay, and then I get if I can get, $5 million off the people who buy the pay-per-view, then the money for the TV contract. You know what I mean? Like it rolls up pretty quick. Now you got to pay your talent, but apparently they're not paying them what they used to, and guys not getting their money like they should. So we'll see how that all works out, right?
Right.
But definitely the network was huge. I think it's groundbreaking. And I don't think it's groundbreaking just for the WWE. I've seen with the new NBA TV contract that they're going to offer a similar over-the-top service in starting from 2016, where they'll still have their stuff on the networks, but you could buy some kind of package and you'll have everything online via the apps and the different stuff, and be able to watch NBA stuff,
Which is crazy.
Major League Baseball has been doing that little network for a long time. That's who helping the WWE do theirs, where you can buy the $100 for the season. It's almost like the same price, but the WWE just allows you to do $9.99 a month, where everybody else trying to get you to pay. And I get it because they have seasons, so they have a shorter time frame.
Right.
But like, hey, you pay $150, and bam, you got every baseball game in every market that goes on at every night.
But I mean, you know what? I want to ask that question because I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people out there that are loving that. That are watching.
I mean, it's about your team. It's kind of like, I may not be able to get especially if I'm an out of market person. Like, I'm a Tigers fan.
Right.
I only get the national TV Tiger games. You know what I mean? So now if I got that, it's stuff that comes on the MLB network or whatever, because I have an MLB network. But if I got the app and I pay the money, I can tune the Tigers as much as I want to. And then, hell, if I hear there's a hot game between, let's say, the Mets and the Cards or something, bam, I can pop that in. You know what I mean? So I have access to all of that. So it's kind of like, because a lot of times you're limited by your marketplace. And NBA is, even though like now, I probably watch more NBA than I've ever watched. It's amazing to me as a kid who just was able only to watch on Saturday and Sunday. And then, the Pistons games that came on Channel 50 to now, man, in one night without any extended package. I just got NBA TV and I got like all the major sports networks. I probably can have 3 games going. And if I had the NBA League Pass, it'd be nuts.
Yeah.
So, I think the WWE, they're stepping out. Vince McMahon might just be ahead of the game right now. You know what I mean?
That's probably so.
And that's just where it is.
Thing, though.
So,
I advertise for the network every chance I get. I actually just got 2 of my coworkers to get it themselves. Like, every time they should be paying me for this. I'm just saying. Because every time I go around, they be like, well, people ask me how do I watch my wrestling these days, and I tell them I have the network. I've had the network since it was created and launched and everything else. I was one of those people that got it on the first day or second. I wouldn't say the first, but it was so hard. Like, it was hard to sign up for it when it first launched. Like, it was difficult because everybody was trying to do it. But I was able to do it, and I got it, and I've been a member ever since. So I always tell people, look, you want to watch some good stuff, get the network. You can watch anything and everything that you can never dream of. It's funny because both of my coworkers that got it, they have been watching, one has been watching Nitro, and the other one has been watching WCW pay-per-view. So it's like, they are now getting into the stuff that they used to love and always wanted to see. It's greatness. If you don't have the network, people, I would suggest you. Personally, as a wrestling fan, like you would love it. I'm just saying, you would love it. It's greatness. And then I had to remind them, like, that everything that's on there, it's not everything that's going to be on there. So they're still adding stuff, and they're going to continue to still add stuff. Like, there's always going to be a continuance of things to be added. So, if it's not on there, and you're waiting on it, just wait on it. Because eventually, it'll be on there. And
one suggestion I would add for them is to probably stop the repeat. I understand they want to push certain things, but they probably shouldn't do the repeat program as much, like as they do the live streaming of what's going on.
Right.
Mix it up a little bit more. I think that would do them wonders.
Yeah, like, don't show the pay-per-view every other program after the pay-per-view happens. Like, I can't deal with it. I'm sorry. Like, it's like, episode of Nitro, TLC. And then an episode of Raw, TLC. And then Monday Night Wars, TLC. Like, no, can we not do that? Because that's just annoying. I'm just saying.
Other big story of the year, TNA leaves Spike TV. I thought that was like one of the biggest stories of the year because I thought it put TNA's future in jeopardy, and it honestly did. They were hanging out in the wind for a while. Like, we really didn't know what was going to happen to them. They landed on their feet. They own Destination America, and it seems like the Discovery people are committed to them thriving on Destination America. It's not widely as distributed as Spike, so I expect a dip in the viewership, but that shook up the landscape because it was like, what happens can they survive without major TV in the United States, and who's going to do what if they don't have that, right? So that was the thing.
It was the biggest toss-up ever, like, because it was the number one question was like, well, what are they going to do now? Because I swear some people just thought that they were just done. Like, okay, they don't have a deal with Spike. Well, that's the end of TNA. Like, that was it. People just really just automatically wrote it off as like that. Okay, that's it. They're done. So, their deal with Destination America saved them for the most part. But we'll have to see. Unfortunately, I can't see because I don't have Destination America. But somebody out there will see.
The next big thing was the Undertaker streak ended this year. The WrestleMania streak ended at 21-1. Here's the thing.
Talk about this. I'm sorry. I don't.
It's the most enduring thing that happened after WrestleMania. Like, after all the things that have happened, everything kind of flipped over and changed. But this is the most enduring thing that has happened, and something that most fans thought would never happen. But I guess this is officially the WWE saying they're moving on and they're trying to move on to this next generation. It's a very hurtful thing for some fans. It's confusing to some.
I was one of them. I'm sorry.
But, like I said, major story of 2014. Also, the start of Lucha Underground and Jeff Jarrett starting Global Force Wrestling in 2014 were huge. Like, these were new things, new exciting promotions that were kicking off.
Yeah,
Lucha
Underground is awesome. Jesus.
There will be other wrestling in the United States. There will be some other people. And if they get rocking and rolling, there's some competition out there. And I think wrestling fans, there are a lot of wrestling fans who are jaded and they're just looking for another alternative. And if you can give them that hour to go somewhere else and feed that wrestling fix, then I think Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff, they'll get shook up a little bit. Will it shake them up a lot? No, I think the majority of fans still will stick with the big boys, and they're in program. It's tradition. It's a lot of things that go with that. But I think for some of the fans who are thirsty for something else and are savvy enough to look for it other places, I think they're going to get their fix with some other things, right? Also, I left this off the notes, but big story in 2014 was the firing of Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, that was random. Oh my God!
I think his leaving exposed a lot of things in the company, and exposed the company in a lot of ways. I think that almost, if you look at his stories and you look at Punk's story, two totally different situations, but the way they both left under the circumstances and the way that things happen, it makes you say, man, something ain't quite right in Stamford, Connecticut.
Right.
Period. Like, to the point of, like, why am I still watching? Something ain't right in Stamford, Connecticut. And that's not to totally bash, because neither one of those guys went on a bash toward a company or tried, but there's some things inside that probably need to get tweaked. Right?
Yeah, it is. And majorly, because there's some stuff going on, and it's whatever it is affecting things majorly. Like, these were two different stories that had pretty much the same outcome in the end that shouldn't even have happened. Like, that's not my opinion, but still, like, neither one of these things should have happened. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what's going on up there, but they need to get it together.
I think as far as with Alberto, his situation, I think it confirmed a lot of things that a lot of people thought. I don't think that WWE is inherently racist, but I do think there's a certain level of sensitivity that is lacked in a company that doesn't employ enough people of color in places to make an impact. That kind of culture, right?
All right.
Like, in a higher up, how many writers on a writing staff that understand blacks or Latinos or, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing, and Asians, and, you know what I mean? Because every major minority pretty much gets the stereotype gimmick and the, you know what I mean? So it lets me know that there's some problems there with the diversity at the higher levels, and sometimes people create a culture and sensitivity and things blow up, right?
Right.
So, and I think that was just one of those situations. Other than that, that was it for the news stories. Keish, we've been going hard for about 45 minutes, so we're going to hit the break. Then we'll come back with the current news. Just little stuff tidbits, real short stuff, some birthdays, and then we'll do our awards. So, we're on the break, and we'll be back right after these messages.
I'm getting with you. That's why I'm not.
It's going to last. How many times am I going to come to this country and receive no peace? Because when Cactus Jack comes to Japan, everyone's gunning for me. Bang, bang! How many times are they going to rip my flesh? How many times are they going to tear at my skull? How many times till they finally figure out that you can't stop Cactus Jack? Every time I step into Korakuen Hall, they surround that ring with barbed wire as if it's really going to stop me. Well, Nakamaki, Leatherface, let me include you on one simple thing. You can't stop Cactus Jack! I'll wrap you up in that barbed wire. I'll be your worst nightmare! Because I have the Crypt Keeper on my team. I know I can't trust Leatherface. He showed me that last time. Every time I step out in the ring, Nakamaki's got a new weapon gunning for me. Bang, bang! Well, tonight, we're gunning for you. Not for the next time, but for the last.
All right, we are back with the wonderful segment that we like to talk about, the birthdays. People celebrating life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Give me 1 second here as I scroll down, because we gotta get down to December, the end of the year. Then I gotta go back up. Today, December 26th, Midian celebrates a birthday. You remember him from the Ministry of Darkness. The 27th, which is tomorrow, has 4 birthdays, Keish.
Really?
4 birthdays, yes. Rosita from TNA fame celebrates a birthday. Bart Gunn, one half of the Smoking Guns, winner of Brawl for It All, who lost to Butterbean at WrestleMania, celebrates a birthday tomorrow. One half of Demolition, Axe. Here comes the Axe. Here comes the Smasher. Alright, celebrates a birthday. Axe celebrates a birthday. The one and the only China celebrates a birthday tomorrow. China will be 42. You may be more familiar with China's more recent work on the surreal life. One Night in China.
Yeah, I don't know about that. People don't go looking up One Night in China like it's some kind of
China's wrestling.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, so she has a wrestling movie with 8 guys that supposed to simulate professional wrestlers in a wrestling ring. It's not worth gouging your eyes out, but it exists. Yeah. So hard times after wrestling, man. Hard times.
Exactly.
But that is that for that. So we'll go into the news. Apparently the WWE has instituted an anti-CM Punk policy for live events. No merch, crazy. No signs, no anything. If you're wearing a CM Punk t-shirt, yes, they want you to change your clothes or turn your shirt inside out. They're not offering to give you another shirt. They just saying, hey.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I say wear a CM Punk shirt just to get a free shirt. Like,
they're not gonna give you a free shirt. That's the thing. They're not giving you a free shirt. They like, hey, you need to turn that inside out or something. No promo, no pub. We're gonna try to bend wire, act like he ain't exist.
So they not giving out free shirts. So I can't. So I can't get I can't have one CM Punk shirt and get a free shirt. They're just gonna tell you take it off or put another one on. Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Boo.
Can't come in here. I mean, they are the proprietor of the event, and they have a right to refuse you of service for that certain thing. And it's up to you to approach it how you would approach it. Right. If you want to see the event and not waste your ticket money, you turn your shirt inside out. I guess that's the option. I think it's jacked up, but I mean, if they right, I guess they may have explored it with a legal team. I don't know, because then again, they ain't the best at exploring things with their legal team. Yeah, or I'm starting to think that they may not even have the best legal team. Their legal team might be as good as Sony's IT department. So
who knows, honey? And Sony need to get together too. I can't deal.
Apparently, several dirt sheets are saying, and this is rumor. Let me put this. This is rumor and conjecture. That's not me stating this as fact, because I'm not saying that it's fact. I'm just saying these are rumors. There's a morale issue in the locker room at the WWE. Kayla Knox reported this to the Wrestling Observer, and I mean, if Meltzer willing to report it, I'll go with it. You know what I mean? I'll let Meltzer take the hits on his reputation. But how often has Meltzer been wrong? Most of the superstars and divas are feeling a little insulted by Vince's comments saying that they don't want the brass ring or whatever, which is maybe semi-true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it's just they just like to be in the background. Who knows? I mean,
but here's the thing: they don't promote a world where people can go out and try to do things. And the guys who've gotten themselves over, they buried them.
Yeah.
You remember Zack Ryder? Remember Z True Hollywood story? Remember how hot that was? Internet sensation. Blew up. Millions of views every week. Other wrestlers like, hey, Vince, you need to watch this. This guy is really getting over. Fans start cheering for him like crazy when it came out. They said, hey, you doing this thing by yourself. How about we take it over and put it under our YouTube channel? And nobody else, no other wrestlers are allowed to do their own YouTube shit no more. Then they crushed it.
They did. They buried it. It was awful. Like, they took it and it just became nothing. It really, overnight and just over time, it became nothing. And then they took him and buried him too. Hey, Zack Ryder, you're so popular. You're so wonderful. You got yourself over. The crowd loves you. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put you in matches and we're going to make you lose. And then we're just going to treat you like straight shit until the point where everybody just starts to hate you and forget about you. That is the worst thing in the world. Like, it's awful. And to make it, I hate to make it sound like that, but that's exactly what happens when you put in your own work to get yourself over. Like, I feel like if they feel like if they haven't had a hand in you being popular, they don't want it to happen. And that's awful. That is awful. Because they're pretty much just saying, like, hey, we like you, but we don't like it when you just do stuff on your own. We don't like that. We don't like you being creative. We want you to just listen to what we tell you to do and do that.
Yeah. So apparently the way it is now, just as Vince said, basically the only 4 dudes who are really trying to do anything is Bray Wyatt, Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. That they say Vince don't believe that they have confidence in any of other younger talents. Triple H gave a speech trying to smooth it over. Apparently he made it worse. So
that sounds like something Triple H would do.
So apparently he is not well liked in the main roster locker room anymore. But they love him at NXT. The NXT locker room, like, yo, Triple H, my dude. But I think that's because they feel like they're his guys, and the people who come through that system will get pushed because they're his people.
Right.
So that's going to be an interesting conundrum that's going to show up with them. But yeah, that's how that worked out. Also over the weekend, Kevin Nash got into a fight with his son. And apparently it turned into a rough little brawl.
No!
His son Tristan. Apparently, and WWE suspended his Legends contract because I guess they're trying to look like they zero tolerance on this domestic violence, even though they didn't read none of the reports, obviously.
Right.
Because if you read it, obviously it seemed like the son came home drunk and belligerent and caused problems to the point where the uncle had to be called. Mom was worried about her safety, and you know what I mean. And you know, Kev realized his son, 18, feeling himself, he had to take him down. And his son tried to be rough with him. Son, 6'5", big dude. But of course, Kev was 6'10", wasn't having it, and he had to give his son some curbside counseling.
Like, hey, yeah, you're gonna chill out with that, and right now, please and thank you. Okay. That's pretty much what ended up happening. So, hey. I
found it perfectly normal. Like, when I read the report and everything that went down, I was like, oh, that sounds perfectly normal. Like, that sounds about right. Like, you start feeling yourself and getting big in your britches at 18. Your dad might have to, introduce you to the curb. That's all. Nothing to see here. But, that happened. And, like I said, WWE decided to suspend Kev's Legends contract for the meantime. Hopefully things will come out better. Other news, rumors of Adrian Neville's possible main roster gimmick, which are disturbing the entire internet and scaring everybody. Because they talking about branding him as Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, I don't like that idea. I don't. I think it's horrible. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think it's cute. I think it's horrible. That just sounds horrible. No, I'm sorry. They should not do that. Please don't do that to him. That just sounds horrific. Like, I definitely don't support that one. Mighty Mouse? Really? Some things I just can't deal with. I can't. Like, I don't get it.
AJ Lee is expected to take some time off due to an injury that she has. So you will not see her for some time in the early parts of 2015. We're going to do a major storyline to try to explain the absence, but now they're going to just skip it and just, hey, she hurt. And Naomi and Natalya will be the top two contenders for Nikki's Divas title. So the belt will be on Total Divas. On Total Divas. I guess they're doing that too to squash the Total Divas rumor that, Total Divas can win the title.
Yeah.
So. A Total Diva has the belt. But that's about it for the current news. So, Keish, the first ever Ring Time Year Awards.
Yay!
Real random categories. I didn't include any potential contestants for these categories. So you allow to totally freestyle and pick whoever you want for whatever reason. So let's go with the big one. Wrestler of the Year. Who was the guy that you would say it was their year in 2014?
The guy that I would say it was their year. This year, you know what? All honesty, the person's year that it was this year, I want to give it to Dean Ambrose. Dean made a great transition this year from being in the Shield to being a singular wrestler. Personally, I think he's been doing greatly from the transition of being with the Shield to being just on his own. We're starting to see him evolve into the person that he once was in his independent days and all that kind of stuff. Like, Dean is definitely making a name for himself. And I personally thought that he, this year, has definitely put himself out there as being a top guy. I have not seen anything take away from him. Maybe a little bit towards the end of the year, but at the same time, it isn't much. So I give it to Dean. Dean has worked his ass off from what I've been seeing, and he has definitely been putting in the work that's necessary to make a name for himself. Not only that, his ring work is great. His promos are great. He's just an all-around great performer. He's a great wrestler. He's a great guy. He's a little crazy, but of course we all know that he's just out of his mind. So I give it to Dean. Dean, you are definitely my wrestler of the year. This was definitely your year.
Okay. I'm gonna go similar but opposite of you on that. My wrestler of the year. Those are like I had some people who were in the mix. Daniel Bryan was in the mix, but due to his injury, he fell out of it. Because I mean, he had a good first 5 months of the year. You know what I mean? And that was more of a carryover from 2013. Like his last half of 2013, his first half of 2014 probably couldn't be matched, right? But if I'm going consistently for the entire year of 2014, January to December, my guy would be Seth Rollins. I thought Seth's elevation through the year was amazing. I thought him in the Shield, he really started to stand himself out in the Shield. Like Ambrose and Reigns, I thought always were standout guys in the Shield, but I thought this year was the year that Rollins started making that move, started having those high spots. You know, that was the guy at Extreme Rules who jumped off the rail. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really did. Definitely more of the technical guy in the group. And his turn and going to the Authority, I think just took him to the next level. And he stayed consistently in the main event. Stayed there at the pay-per-views, last man in there. Survivor Series was a lot of him carrying the mood. Him and Ambrose closed out TLC. I thought he was the guy. You know what I mean? Even at him and Ambrose closed out Hell in a Cell. Even at TLC with him and Cena, I thought that was like more of the more impactful match of the night. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. I think he will go as an easy wrestler of the year right now for me. Brock didn't do enough. Cena was, kind of boring. I thought Randy, when he was picking up steam, he finally caught on, he left. So, Seth Rollins goes in there, right?
Right.
Also, all the people I named had big moments with Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? Like, Seth Rollins was a part of a big moment. He was there at Night of Champions for the Brock cash in, and the arena would have been on fire if he had cashed in. So, that's that. Woman Wrestler of the Year, your Lady of the Year, the woman who stood out.
Well, this is tough because to me, there are a lot of great wrestlers, female wrestlers. We have some great divas. We have some that are absolutely horrible. But I think the one that stood out the most to me, my Woman Wrestler of the Year has, I don't know. I want to give it to Paige. I think that her transition from NXT to the main roster was a great one. I think that she's a great performer. And personally, I feel like her time came... At first, I thought her time came a little early. But then she proved herself to be more than just another female in the ring. So I really want to give her Woman of the Year. Personally, I just think that she gave it more than I expected. I expected her to be not too much. I actually expected her to just kind of be thrown in the background in the beginning, like in her very beginning. I expected her to just kind of be like, okay, we're done with you, goodbye. But it wasn't really like that when she first made the transition. I mean, she was great in NXT, and then she was great when she got moved to the main roster. Now, unfortunately, they're circling themselves around the Bellas, but that's not something that can be helped by her. I still give her her due. She still gets her props from me because she's still, to me, just a great person all around. So, I definitely give it to Paige.
This one is hard because I have like a few candidates, and some would really be hard for me to go with. I like Nikki Bella, and I know that's probably get a lot of boos, but I think she worked hard this year. She was the better of the two. She really worked herself into being a mean monster heel and worked her body into one where she could be a powerhouse, right?
Right.
AJ Lee is always a candidate for this. Always. Never not a time where AJ Lee should not be considered for Diva of the Year. Paige made the list. I took Paige in my Diva of the Year, my Women's Wrestler of the Year, for overall consistency. I think Nikki had a lot of points where she dropped off. I thought AJ had a few months here and there where she was gone in and out. Paige was consistent from NXT, coming to the main roster, getting the title, and keeping it going, right? So that's what I gave Paige it based on the consistency factor. I mean, she didn't really peter off until like the end of the year, and it really wasn't her fault. It was more creative taking her out of the loop. But her overall year, calendar to calendar, I think Paige had the best body of work. All right. So, next match of the year, Keish.
Aha. My match of the year was the match between Evolution and the Shield. That was my match of the year. I'm sorry. That match was great. I personally, that's the very first match I thought of when I thought of match of the year. That match was just awesome. It was just high flyingness and just I loved it. I'm personally gonna get booed for that. I probably am naming like one of the. I'm not saying one of the worst because I'm sorry, that was one of the best matches of the year. To me, it was the match of the year. So that's my match of the year, hands down. I'm sorry. The athleticism and the overall greatness of this match, it just, to me, was just standout. It was standout. Like, there was nothing about this match that was boring. To me, there was nothing about this match that just said, oh my God, turn it off. Like, it was greatness. They were all over the place. They were all over each other. It was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. Like, I can't take it away from it. It put the Shield out there in the greatest way that I could possibly see. Like, they were seen, especially it was just seen as, people that just coming from behind and attacking folks and all that. You got to see their actual athleticism in this match. Like, this match put them out there on the map. Of course, Evolution, yeah, they're a little, but at the same time, they were still able to work. It wasn't like, they were facing, just three. It was 6 men in this match that still got it. 3 of them brand new to this and all that kind of stuff. 3 of them, they still could hang in there. Like, and I was intrigued. I was excited for this match, and I'm glad that it happened. I'm sorry. Match of the year to me, the Shield versus Evolution.
This one was hard. This is probably one of the harder ones I had too. I thought the Shield versus the Wyatts in the early part of the year in March was pretty good. I thought it had a lot of emotion and it had a lot of the Usos versus the Harper and Rowan of the Wyatts. I thought had a lot going for them too. Right. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30, I thought was a good one. And there were quite a few. Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn, NXT, just 2 weeks ago. It's still fresh in the brain.
Hey, that match was impressive. That match was highly impressive. No one can deny that one. The Shield versus Evolution at Extreme Rules, I think, was a very good one too. So, I mean, these are the ones. I mean, I'm just going down the list, and some of the best stuff I've seen all year. I mean, hell, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler had a few matches this year that were really good. Right.
I even looked outside to WWE. AJ Styles had a few matches in Japan that were amazing.
I heard he over there breaking necks.
That has happened to 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, he's over there breaking necks. I'm gonna need him not to
has happened.
Class no more. Like,
they have happened with his life. But let me go ahead and round this one out with Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville from NXT TakeOver Revolution. I think any of their matches will work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also, there was a Sami Zayn versus Cesaro match that happened on the NXT pay-per-view. That was really, really good too. But I'm just doing that just to bail myself out. I don't like. I mean, seriously, like I have like 10 matches that I think were really good this year. So, there's some things the Young Bucks did in New Japan that was incredible. Like I'm gonna bail myself out with Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville from NXT Revolution. Pay-per-view of the year.
This is hard for me because to me there was a lot of things about every pay-per-view that just shouldn't happen. Okay, I'm sorry, but it is hard. I'm sorry. I can't really make a decision on this one because it's just kind of like I was kind of disappointed in a lot of it. I was kind of disappointed in a lot of it. My pay-per-view for this year would have had to have been WrestleMania 30. Like, that definitely would have been my pay-per-view for the year. Because of the simple fact that was the one pay-per-view that I watched this year that had me drawn in throughout the entire pay-per-view. Like, that was the one. And it was not just because it was WrestleMania. Because there have been years where there have been other pay-per-views that have just kind of overshadowed WrestleMania. Because the WrestleMania for the year just kind of sucked. But this year, to me, that was my pay-per-view of the year. You know, I had to. The matches, to me, some of them were questionable, but at the same time, they weren't bad. Like, some of them, they weren't horrible. I thought that the pay-per-view itself was put together a little funny, but at the same time, it worked. So, WrestleMania 30 was my pay-per-view of the year. Hands down. Even though I saw one of the worst things in life that I would ever see as far as wrestling go, and that's the ending of the streak. Like, that just, oh my God, it just broke my heart. But to me, that was my favorite view of the year. Yeah.
As a match, I thought it did the job.
So, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was a wonderful match, but my heart was broken in it. I was one of those people that always thought the streak would never end. Like, he would retire, and it would just go on to be this whatever, 21-0. I just thought it would be over. I thought it would be over after WrestleMania, after his 20th match. But then he wrestled CM Punk. And I was like, okay, this needs to be it. It needs to be done. But it wasn't. And now it's done. But it's not. He's still not undefeated. It's awful. I can't. But yeah. That's my wrestling. That's my pay-per-view of the year. So. Sorry. I had a moment. Every time I talk about it, I'm telling you.
This one was hard too. A lot of the pay-per-views were very uneven in a lot of promotions this year. And going through them, if you go match by match, team, everything that went down. And it's funny because WrestleManias are generally clunky cards. They're just kind of overstacked.
Right.
And you don't get the best out of them. So, generally, they very rarely make pay-per-view of the year. But if you go down the line and you look at everybody's body of work, WrestleMania is the one that sticks out as the top. Night of Champions goes in there as one that was pretty decent. But for the most part, the killer, no winner. I mean, Money in the Bank was decent, but when you look at it, it all comes down to WrestleMania 30. SummerSlam also does do some good work, but WrestleMania 30 is the one.
Yeah, definitely.
So, go down the card, list the names. WrestleMania did it. Other than that, I really didn't have any other ideas for awards. So, that was that. Keisha, any parting shots? Anything you want to get out? Or
I just want to say that I love you guys for always listening to us and for just paying attention to our shows and just loving us. Especially everybody that's been here since day one. We thank you and love you, and I hope that your Christmas was great, or your Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever else that you celebrate. And I pray that you bring in this new year with everything of love and happiness and blessings and everything else. I'm telling you, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. And I want to tell you, be safe, don't do nothing crazy. And please don't drink too much, because I'm telling you, it's not a good thing for your head. I'm just saying. I don't know from experience, but I'm just putting it out there.
We've been doing this thing like 3.5 years. I think April will mark the 4th year. We've had Ringtime Pro Wrestling as a show.
God, it's crazy, man.
I'm happy about the journey. I think we're really hitting our stride now. We're available in all these different formats, and we've been listened to all over the world. I'm appreciative of everybody who listens to the show, everybody who's helped us out with the show. Classic, or close to the, not just as, a podcasting partner or somebody, but, somebody who's gave advice and, I think he's the first person who helped me get on iTunes.
Right.
Told me I get on iTunes. So, you know what I mean? It's been cool, man. I've enjoyed doing this show more than anything. Like, it's the highlight of my week. Like I said, no more hiatuses and stuff like that. We're going to keep grinding out. And 2014 was a good year. And we expect to do more. And I'm excited to see what happens. So, we will be better produced. We'll have more guests. 2015 is going to be exciting. So, be on the lookout. And with that, enjoy your holidays, and hopefully this gives you something to listen to when you want to tune out your relatives.
See you next year, people.
Peace.